Hello everyone, it's Blazer here for another Games of the Boat video, and this is for January 2026. And yeah, I've got several other things that I should be doing, and finishing up my top 10 worst games list, which I'm working on, which hopefully I'll get it done soon. Yeah, Splitgate Arena Reload has been keeping me busy on that, and I've been eager to start working on clips for that game. Yeah, but then the whole Arena Royale mode came out, and I've been suckered in to try and do good on that, but geez, the swags on that have been annoying me to hell on that. But I have got the clips of Splitgate Arena Reloaded. Those will be worked on, you know, when I eventually do get around to it. I plan to get on with my top 10 worst games list and get that finished up, and eventually alongside the Nintendo Direct blog, talking about that. Yeah, and get that worked on as well. I eventually start working on my Splitgate Arena Reloaded review, and my new Call of Duty Pro Revolution Unlimited controller for PS4, because I've been enjoying playing Splitgate Arena Reloaded with that thing. So, that's my experience with the game. I'm still enjoying Splitgate Arena Reloaded, where I'm dominating the arena. I finished all the weapon challenges, so now the real event, the real fun begins. Start doing a challenge library for completing the kill race. So that's going to be fun. And I am going to do it on the arena modes, because the Arena Royale is insanely difficult. So either way, that's not what I'm here to really talk about. We're here to talk about the games I bought throughout January 2026, and I bought quite a fair bit of stuff to talk about. Yeah, now I'm going to be starting off with the games I bought, and then the other stuff I bought. So we're going to start off with the games. And the first game I bought through January 2026, and the game I bought to start off buying games of the year, is Conduit 2. This was a game for the Nintendo Wii I've been looking to find for a long time. It's a sequel to The Conduit, which is an exclusive first-person shooter game for the Nintendo Wii console. I played this a lot. I played The Conduit 1 a fair time, and it was a really fantastic and vastly underappreciated game for the Nintendo Wii system. And arguably one of the best FPS titles for the Wii. And you've got the sequel, The Conduit 2, which continues on from that game. And it's got that, you know, that infamous cliffhanger ending, where we would just beg for a Conduit 3 just to see the, you know, the events resolved. But we'll never see that happen, because High Voltage Games, don't know what's happened. I can't remember what's happened to them, but oh well. I played the intro, the first two areas of the game, which have been pretty good. And for me to test out the Wii remotes and my what's that horror thing? The fight, you know, one of my Wii controllers. which was specifically made for fighting games, which is actually a pretty good controller for the split pad, I think it was called, the Hori split pad for the Wii and Wii U consoles, and this works fine with it. Online play is all been discontinued on the Wii, so all I get is the campaign and also the single player survival mode to see how long I last. So yeah, I'm absolutely glad I got this. Alright, next game. C.O.P the Recruit for the Nintendo DS. This is an open world sandbox kind of game where you're a police officer dealing with crime all over the streets of the city, and this is a game to really show off the capabilities of the DS. It's a really good looking DS game. From what I've seen of it, it's really impressive on a technical scale, to see like how the DS is able to pull was able to be pulled off, kind of like Dementium the Ward, to really show off like the graphical to really push the limits of the DS. And it's a really good game, and it's from the same devs that gave us what's that game? Ironfall Invasion on the 3DS, which I used to play like a long time back. It is a good looking game, but the gameplay can be quite tough. I played a few missions and I did screw up like several number of times. But I got this fairly cheap, so I can't fault for what I got this for. And it is a game I got for the PSP, and it is Wipeout Pure. It's a racing game, and it's a game in the Wipeout series made for the PSP. Whereas the Wipeout series is kind of like a cross between F-Zero and Mario Kart-ish. You're riding on these on these futuristic looking ship things. And these games were like very fastly popular back on the original PlayStation 1 console. And this is one of the series that's made, and this is one of the games that's made its way to the PlayStation Portable, and it's a really good entry. And it's a really good entry, and it's a fantastic looking game as well for the PSP. I actually really am impressed with how good it looks on it. I only played one race to see it working on my PSP. Should give it another go, because it really does look pretty fun. And then lastly, I got a physical game for the PlayStation 5, and it is Godfall. The launch title, I think this game was a launch title for the PlayStation 5, and I can remember this game being such an underwhelming, disappointing game. And yeah, and it's from Nana, and it's published from Gearbox Software. Yeah, Gearbox. Yeah, I say nothing more. The scene, guys, that's got that absolute inhuman piece of shit that is Brian Pitchford. Is it Brian Pitchford or is it Randy Pitchford? I cannot remember what it is, but Pitchford is an absolute inhuman piece of shit. Especially how he responded to all the negativity, and how he responds to all the negativity. And he tries to dismiss that everything about his games like have flaws. He just can't accept issues. But either way, Godfall. I got this game for £5. And I only played like a section or two of it. Now they did kind of update this game with what was it? This whole challenger thing adds new events. Now everybody's now level locked to 50. Meaning that, yeah, stats in this whole RPG thing is only entirely limited to what items and equipment you pick up. It's not that good. But it does look amazing though. I will give it that. It does look really amazing for a launch title. Like you can't pass, you can't pass off for like how good the game looks. But it's just the gameplay and what they did with it is just super underwhelming. Yeah, very disappointing launch title. And it was so disappointing that they eventually released the Godfall Challenger Edition version for the PS4. You know, just to maximize, you know, the player, to try and maximize player base. And they're like, what's the point? And it's even a pointless thing, because in order to play the story, the main story of Godfall is to just play the next gen version. So yeah, it was stupid. So those were the four. So these are the 4 games I have bought this year. This month. Sorry, my bad. I've got 2 more things. First of all, I've got a carry case. Now this is a Switch 2 carry case, but I wanted this for a reason. I wanted to get like a special carry case for my Game Boy Advance. So have a look in here. This right here is where I store my Game Boy Advance in, anytime I'm not using it. So if I'm not using my Game Boy Advance, this goes in here. And I also have in here, in this top part here, some of my accessories and other gizmos that I got from my Game Boy Advance. My cables, my battery bank. I also got my my light, the light for the thing. I also got the, yeah, I do have the light in there. The and I think I feel yeah, the magnifier and such with it. Yeah, I have the magnifier in there, so that's a good stuff, which is what I got inside. I bought this for like £15, which is not bad considering what I want to use this for. It's a good bag for storage. It's good for storing my Game Boy Advance and my other stuff if I'm not using them, so my Game Boy Advance feels more protected. And also, it's a good bag for if I want to take my Game Boy Advance with its battery grip attached anywhere I go without needing to take it apart. So that's a brilliant thing. I wanted. This is what I wanted for my Game Boy Advance. And there's one more other thing that I wanted for my Game Boy Advance is some containers. Now I got a big container right here, and inside this big container is all my original Game Boy games that's inside there. So this container has all my Game Boy games in there. There's Alleyway, just showing you, there's Killer Instinct, there's Tetris Attack, and the 5-in-1 game, Game Boy Gallery 5-in-1, Mario and Yoshi, Tetris, Micro Machines. So those are the Game Boy games that's inside there. So all my original Game Boy games that I'm purchasing are gonna go in there. And over in this other container I got is all the Game Boy Color all the Game Boy Advance games. All the Game Boy Advance games that I've been picking up, all the cartridge only ones, are now all in here. So there's the Breath of Fire games 1 and 2. There's Doom 1 and 2. There's Pokemon Ruby. There's the god awful Sonic the Hedgehog 1 port. Mario World, Mario Brothers 3, Wolfenstein 3D, the F-Zero game, Micro Machines, and the Crash Bandicoot game. Yeah, so I've got a fair ton of Game Boy Advance games that's in here. These are for like all the unboxed Game Boy Advance games that I have got. And I still kept the older container, but inside this container is where I got my Game Boy Advance's batteries and cover, which is broken, and there's all my Game Boy Color games that's in here. So you can see here, there's Game Boy Gallery 2, there's Shrek, there's Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Wario Land 3, my Game Boy Camera, Pokemon Pinball, and I think that's that's the V-Rally game. There's a V-Rally game in there also. I think I have one more game that's inside. Oh, and yeah, there it is, Mortal Kombat 4. So yeah. So that is my Game Boy Color storage container. That's the storage container I'm going to be using for my Game Boy Color games that I purchased that don't have their boxes. So yeah. So this is quite a haul. I have also got other containers also for my other stuff. Yeah, because I wanted just a one container for Game Boy games, but eventually, because they had like a whole set of them, I used those containers to store not only the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games. I've also used some of the other color storage containers to put my thumb grips and my trigger grips, as well as my batteries that I'm not using. Like any of the stuff I'm not using for the moment that I'll probably may use in the future. So they're kept safe and not been broken. So yeah, so I got a couple more, and I decided to put those in the cupboard for in case I want to use them. So that's quite a large amount of stuff that I bought throughout January 2026, and I'm quite pleased with what I got. Now let's talk about what I've accomplished throughout January. Not much, like hardly much at all. Like aside from working on the top 10s, that's it. And game accomplishment wise, I only just played what was on the PlayStation Plus, and I didn't unlock like any like new stuff or any other things. But now here's what I'm gonna try and be serious with this. I am enjoying Splitgate's Arena Reloaded. That relaunched, and I've been having some serious time with that game. And I'm coming to grips with my new PC. Like, I'm learning how Windows 11 works, and I've gotten the tools set up on how to use the new tools that's available to me. I've got an WordPad set up, I've got an OpenOffice set up, I've got all my other programs set up, and yeah. And I'm really loving my new PC as well. Everything's working great. And I know I'm way behind schedule when it comes to all these top 10 lists being worked on. Yeah, I apologize for all of that. One of those reasons is me being lazy, but the other reason is me trying to get as many videos for Splitgate Arena Reloaded before I start uploading them. And yeah, and I spent like a full week with Splitgate Arena Reloaded Arena Royale, and I've been having a serious hard time with that mode. And I've got some clips of it which I'll eventually upload, but I was gonna hope to try and push to see if I could do better with some of the maps on there. But yeah, the players on there were just being so damn sweaty on it, and I wish I could have just played with the crossplay off, but I couldn't. And yeah, which made my experience with it kind of frustrating. But either way, I've got everything. I am going to eventually start uploading more stuff to my to YouTube. I'm going to eventually start working on those once I get my third top 10 list, once I get the worst games of 2026, 2025 uploaded. And I'll eventually start getting to work on those. So I'll try and work on that while also working on the 2 remaining top 10 lists I got to work on. There's the top 10 anticipated games of 2026 and the top 10 games of 2026 that I'm not looking forward to. Yeah, I'll try and make those as quickly as I possibly can, while also trying to deal with my Splitgate daily issues. But I'll see what I can do. Hopefully I'll come up with like a simple solution, like spend an hour on Splitgate Arena Reloaded, and then spend the rest of the time just having to work on all the other stuff, because I need to get all this other crap out of the way before I work on some new projects. Because I got other game reviews I need to start working on, and that's about it. And that's all I have to really say. Really, just push on, really, after all the time I've been wasting. So yeah, apologies that all my current work has been delayed. That's my fault, really. I'll take full responsibility for all of that. So hope you all enjoyed this video, and be sure to give it a comment, like, and subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. Be sure to check out my other videos as well, and hope to see you all in the next video. Look forward to those, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.